what is radical transparency? Now, this keyword has been thrown around by many big players in the industry, recently also by Deloitte. And basically, radical transparency is offering customers and suppliers transparency over each aspect of, for example, the supply chain, or transparency over many aspects that previously you couldn't get any information. And I think VeChain is one of the main players, allowing suppliers, allowing customers to see where different products have been, the whole supply chain, and making sure that there's a level of transparency like reliability, eliminating fraud, and so on. So I think radical transparency is very important, and VeChain is making big steps forward in this area, looking at many different markets. So today I've got 3 articles I'm pretty sure you'll find interesting. I'm Kian from CryptoBoost, and I'm really happy to have you here with me today. So let's get started. Now, the first article is the wine traceability platform developed by VeChain and DIG, and it's kickstarted its second phase with the introduction of Penfold's BIN 407, and that allows for enhanced transparency and reliability. So this is the same as what I've been just mentioned before, the radical transparency, allowing different products to be tracked the whole way from the beginning of the production to the end consumer, and end consumer can maybe make better decisions on what products you want to buy, and make sure that these products are also created and are legit and are not fraudulent products. So there's a much more trust that gets created by this radical transparency. Now, of course, China is had massive growth over the last years, and there's many new middle-class households, so the interest of wine has been increasing steadily over the last decade. Now, here we've got 40 years of explosive economic growth has made China the second largest economy in the world and helped create millions of middle-class households. So China imported around $3.91 billion worth of wine in 2018, and it's had a growth of around 6.5% year on year. So this booming market is, of course, very lucrative for copycats and counterfeiters. And yeah, it's really a shame that this is the case. But I mean, of course, in the luxury market, you're going to have a lot of copycats and counterfeiters. And the market is massive, with many bottles being faked. So here, there's an estimate of around 50,000 fake bottles in the valuation of around $2.8 million. So that's massive amount. And of course, this cost gets pushed over to the customer at the end. So that's something many companies, including VeChain, would like to eliminate. And VeChain is bringing the tools and the blockchain, allowing companies to make sure that the customer knows that a product is legit at the end. Now, Penn is a wine manufacturer, and Penfolds, one of Australia's most famous and respected winemakers, decided to use VeChain's tools in order to allow the customer at the end to be able to check the authenticity of bottles. So here we've got an example of the VeChain NFC tag. So the label here will be is an NFC tag, and as you can see, it's going to be, you probably can't see the top, but it goes over the bottle, making sure that you cannot just remove it easily. So probably if you break the ribbon at the top, the NFC tag is not valid anymore. So this is the VeChain NFC tag. Now, in July 2019, phase 2 of the WTP kickstarted with the introduction of Penfold BIN 407, and that's the name of this VeChain empowered NFC tag. Now, in the case of Penfold's BIN 407, each bottle is attached with an encrypted NFC tag, specially designed for wine products. So by reading the NFC chip, customers can Access to relevant wine bottles, immutable product information stored on the blockchain, including provenance information verified by independent auditors such as DNVGL with the VeChain Tor, so blockchain technology and the WTP platform. So Penfold and similar wineries can now make it less likely for their products to be counterfeited, while allowing consumers to form more in-depth insight into the product, enhancing their confidence and trust. And I think this is very good, because if the customer trusts the product much more, they're also willing to pay a higher price probably, and the producer can reduce the cost of production, because, for example, they can sell more products, and they will probably also increase their revenue, because the customers are less likely to buy the fake products and will buy the authentic products instead. So here we've got some examples of this wine bottle with the NFC tag on it. I think this is very good. It shows the VeChain network live in action on product, and with a real use case. And I think that's a very good, it's just a very good sign all in all. So these VeChain for blockchain powered Penfolds bin 407 bottles, and are now available in different brick stores. So we've got the DIG flagship and so on. So I think this is all in all a very good article, showing just like one aspect of the VeChain NFC tags in use, but you can probably imagine you can use it from many different applications, and it will allow producers and customers to make sure that products are authentic on a wide scale of products. So fantastic, especially food products, which is very critical, because if we take Chinese market, there's many food products that are suffering under many counterfeits. And the problem is with food products is you don't really know what's in the counterfeit products, and it might cause health hazards. As a few years ago, there was a scandal with Nestle products, the milk powder, where there was like counterfeit versions with milk powder, and it caused actually a few deaths among infants. So I think there's nothing to joke around with, and I hope in the next few years many more products will go in this direction and apply NFC tags on their products. And in my opinion, I think VeChain is going to be the leader in this area, and that's just fantastic. I like that. All right, next up is VeChain attends Amazon Web Services AWS Global Beijing Summit, showcased VeChain toolchain and various VeChain for blockchain-powered use cases. So now, short summary, the AWS Beijing Summit, a grand gathering for the Chinese cloud computing community hosted by AWS, was held on Wednesday. VeChain attended the summit as a technology partner of AWS in the blockchain industry and a member of AWS partner network. So the cooperation between VeChain and AWS kickstarted this year. In February 2019, VeChain announced the launch of an integrated solution into the AWS cloud platform to enable one-click deployment of the VeChain for blockchain nodes. This is very good. And I read about this quite a while ago, so I thought I would cover it again in case some people missed it. And I also want to go more into detail of how this is beneficial for the whole VeChain network, and also allowing small and medium enterprise companies to launch their own VeChain powered supply chain tracking mechanism without too much technical knowledge. And I think that's a very important aspect for small and medium enterprises, that they have a very low technological barrier of entry to enable this transparency for their customers. So thanks to the joint efforts made by VeChain and its partners, VeChain toolchain powered solutions such as the digital carbon ecosystem, liquefied natural gas solutions, and consumer confidence index have been successfully integrated into various industries and sectors, including food and beverage, wine, luxury, automotive, healthcare, and more. So wine we just saw before, but as you can see, the different industries where this technology is applicable is just vast. And I covered once the vastness in terms of economical numbers, and that's just around 50 trillion. Is just just massive. So if VeChain manages to get just a small piece of that pie, then it's going to be great for the technology, and also great for the price if you're more into the investing aspect. But I think all terms considered, I think it's just great all in all. Now, last but not least, this article is just about the tools that you can use for if you've got a company, and the tools that you can use to apply VeChain technology in your supply chain. And that's with the VeChain launches revolutionary one-stop BaaS platform and VeChain toolchain. So now that allows anyone around the world to implement blockchain technology in their company, which this is just great. So there's many technologies that are working together, and that's including 5G, which allows very fast internet, IoT, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, and the Internet of Value. So data is set to play a more significant role in the future business world. So there's many big players that are seeing the value in data. And data is going to be the new oil. So data is super valuable, especially if it can be mined. With respect to data privacy laws, hopefully we don't become a new China, but should data privacy be considered and respected? I think mining data, using data to improve everyone's day-to-day life, improve the supply chain management, it's going to be very lucrative and hopefully improve the quality of life of many citizens. So now, at the moment, there are different obstacles in feasibly employing a blockchain technology into businesses, and that's high cost, complexity, and lacking professionals or the know-how to implement it. So if you manage to reduce one or all of these entry to the market to enable blockchain in your company, if you manage to eliminate one or three of those, then that's very good. And with this toolchain, VeChain manages to eliminate all three. So it can eliminate the high cost. It's not nearly as costly as doing it on your own. So the cost is reduced. The complexity is also reduced because with the different options that they have with AVS and one-click solutions, it's hopefully very easy to launch in your company. And also the same as with lacking professionals and the know-how, with the ease of use, hopefully that element is also just removed from the whole process. Now like I just mentioned, VeChain with this toolchain is breaking down the barriers of entry. VeChain develops and launches a toolchain so that anyone can implement and use the blockchain technology. So the toolchain addresses the pain points for small and medium-sized enterprises, and the toolchain provides a variety of general interfaces to essentially eliminate the high technical threshold and substantially lower the cost for SMEs or even individuals in blockchain integration. So eliminating all these barriers of entries is actually the most important part, because many small and medium-sized enterprises, they don't have the knowledge. They want an easy-to-use solution, and by creating that and making it easy to use, that's how you can have global adoption in the professional market. So there are three different options. There's the standard version with which just allows SMEs with no development capabilities to have their own blockchain. So basically, it's just push the button and you've got your blockchain managed supply chain management. And then you've got the developer version, which allows you to customize with SDK development kit, so you can have maybe different aspects of the supply chain management automated and so on. And then last but not least, the third one is the channel partner version, and that's support independent deployment and multi-dimensional customization of the toolchain. So that's probably reserved to big companies that have very, very specific needs, tracking needs and so on, where they also might need help with VeChain. But you have to apply to become that. So that's probably just reserved to bigger companies. So now there's some hardware suggestions, what you need to fully implement the VeChain toolchain. And that's, for example, QR code printer and application software for easy, immediate, at the office printing of QR codes, NFC writer, IoT devices, including RFID chips. So these RFID chips and IT devices can possibly be used to maybe track the temperature during shipment to make sure that the quality and the freshness of food is meeting different regulation standards. And furthermore, handheld terminal devices to enable toolchain apps to bond and activate NFC chips, and physical carriers to simple transport the toolchain kit, including QR codes and NFC RFID chips. So here you can see one of these boxes which has a different information, where this is probably the RFC reader and so on. And here's a tag, different types of RFC tags or NFC tags. So it's pretty interesting. There's a lot of options. So this is a suggestion of the toolchain hardware kit, which will be given, sold and given to different SMEs who decide to improve and empower the supply chain management and allow customers to benefit from more trust in their company. So very good, very happy about how they're reducing the barriers. I think that's the key aspect. There are two key aspects, and that's the radical transparency, and that's just like looking at the bigger picture. And at the moment, as a customer, you just have to accept, and you don't really have the option of looking where products are made. You don't really see how they're produced, the whole shipment and the whole process that the products have to go through to reach your supermarket. And what that means is there are many aspects that you do not see. You don't see if the shipping company is fulfilling all the regulations. You don't see if the food has been stored at the right temperature to make sure that it's fresh. And with radical transparency, you can basically track all this information and create new markets. So for example, you could create a new market of freshness of the food. So basically, instead of selling products, like producers can instead make new contracts based on the freshness of the food instead of the quantity of the food. So this allows many more markets to emerge. I'll talk about that more in the next video. I want to cover one of Deloitte's papers talking about radical transparency. I'll go in my next video more into detail on that. But I think that's one of the key aspects. And the second, which I think is very important, is reducing the barriers of entry for small and medium enterprise companies. I think that's super important, because by reducing these barriers of entry, it will allow global adoption and maybe become a standard in industry for tracking products. So I think that would be fantastic. And that's why I'm also a big fan of the company, big fan of VeChain and what they're doing to enable different companies to track their product over the blockchain. There's a lot of different options, many options that we haven't covered in this video. So I'll Yeah, I'll try and cover more news as they come out. So if you like this type of news, then I'd suggest that you subscribe to these videos and hit the notification bell if you want to stay up to date. So if you've got any questions, leave them down in the comments below. I appreciate that. And without further ado, I wish you a fantastic day, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.